Before every union budget, there's one ceremony our Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman never skips, the Halwa ceremony, which marks the end of the budget preparation. But here's what I want to know. Does this halwa attract GST too? Well, let's not act surprised if it does. After all, in this country, even caramelized popcorn has an 18% GST because apparently sugar is a luxury. Can you imagine explaining this to someone from another country? Oh, we tax sugar because it makes popcorn taste too good. And plain popcorn? That's fine. Have a bland life? Just 5% tax for you. And it doesn't end here. Did you know about the cream bun incident in Karnataka? And he also said that people are now ordering buns and cream separately, like they're in some Michelin star restaurant assembling their food on the side. So, what's next? A GST-free DIY Rasgulla kit? But do you know what's worse? You've gotten used to it, haven't you? Cooking gas prices touch 1000 rupees and everyone just shrugs. What to do, yaar? Subsidy is there, no? But let's be honest, how much of a difference is that subsidy really making? Surely not enough to stop you from feeling the burn. Let's face it, we're all stuck in the same pot. Everything is taxed. Food, fuel, cinema tickets, you name it, you pay for it. And many of you would even say that the system isn't fair. Even a report found out that the bottom 50% of Indians pay 6 times more indirect taxes than the top 10%. 6 times. See, these GST implications have been sparking debates across the country for a while now. But is it actually a reform that has revolutionized India's tax system, or is it just unfairly burdening the common man? And while the budget 2025 is just around the corner, will it finally bring relief from the everyday pinch of indirect taxes? Let's talk about it all and more in this video. But before moving forward, make sure to subscribe to Bizbo Business. Well, over the years, GST slabs on cinema tickets and food ranging from 18% to 28% have angered multiplex owners and cinema goers alike. Cooking gas prices, which cross 1000 rupees, continue to hurt households. And when it comes to staples like pre-packaged rice and curd, taxed at 5%, public discontent has often spilled over onto social media. And speaking of prices, let me take you back to 2019, the great onion crisis perhaps. Onion prices shot up past 100 rupees per kg. Social media was on fire, hashtag onion minister trended, and Sitharaman's comments didn't exactly help.
So don't worry.
Opposition leaders called her Nirmala Sitharaman.
आपको निर्मला सीतारामन के बदले निर्मला सीतारामन तो कहना ठीक होगा या नहीं?
Memes spreaded on the internet, and some went as far as to calling her as the worst finance minister ever. And honestly, can you blame people for being angry? When your staple food becomes unaffordable, you kind of stop caring about the macroeconomic policies, don't you? But here's the thing, Sitharaman is no stranger to criticism. As India's first full-time finance minister and the longest-serving one, she has faced challenges head-on. GST wasn't even her idea, it was already rolled out in 2017, and let's admit it, she inherited a messy system. And say what you will, but Sitharaman hasn't backed down. In her maiden budget, she made a bold statement by ditching the colonial-era briefcase for a traditional bahi khata and envisioned India as a $3 trillion economy by 2020. And while we did not hit the target on time, the ambition was clear. When COVID struck, she rolled out a 20 lakh crore rupee relief package offering support to farmers, laborers, and job seekers. And while unemployment remains a challenge in this country, programs like PM Internship Program, which connected over 1.5 lakh youth to internship at the top companies in India, have been steps in the right direction. She even made strides with GST. Did you know that many tax rates today are lower than they were pre-GST? Toothpaste, hair oil, soap, these dropped down from 29.3% to 18%, and sugar down from 6% to 5%. To make cancer treatment more affordable, Sitharaman even exempted customs duty on 3 cancer drugs and even reduced the GST on them from 12% to 5%. तुम्हारा phone भी तो सस्ता हो गया, as she reduced the basic customs duty on mobile phones, components and chargers from 20% to 15%. While for individual taxpayers, she has increased the standard deduction to 75,000 rupees in the 2024 budget, up from 50,000 rupees previously. And yes, she is not perfect and she has certainly made some missteps, but Sitharaman has shown resilience. She has defended her position with confidence, even hitting back at critics who labelled her as weak.
आप डेटॉल से मुंह साफ कर दो भैया कांग्रेस वाले.
And let's not forget the fact that economic reform is a long game. But in the end, the pressing question would be, what can she do more for the middle class? Despite all the reforms she has brought till now, we cannot deny the fact that there sure is a disparity between corporate and middle class when it comes to getting taxed. Individuals are still getting taxed on their income and again on their spending, while corporations are getting taxed only on the profits after deducting their expenses. People are also hoping that the 2025 budget brings relief, higher income tax exemptions, and increased standard deduction for the salaried individuals. So, will this year's budget sweeten her legacy or reignite old frustrations? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the nation will be watching with popcorn in hand. Caramelized or not.